gonna explain about the instructions how to filling the forms. So in the form filling process, we'll provide that separate username password. You have to log in our official website. So once you log in, you will get the working panel like this. So always you'll getting some forms on the right side, and left side you have the columns. So what are the informations given in the right side form? You have to simply fill in the separate columns. That's your job nature. While filling the forms, you'll get two kinds of record, that single record and then multiple record. If form has only one requirement, that's single, and if that form has more than one requirement, that's multiple. And this form is that multiple record, because here they're asking more than one requirement in that same form. Just check once. So here they're asking that accommodation manager, then FO supervisor, so third one is guest relation executive. So here they're asking more than one, this is that multiple record. So you have to fill all the requirements in a individual form, one by one. And then while filling the forms, you'll get three variations of form. That first one is job requirement, second one is that matrimonial, and third one is real estate. So these are the forms you have to fill while filling the forms. So now I'm going to explain the details how to fill that form. Here the title you have to always start with wanted. So wanted is the default for all the forms. So whenever start that form, simply start with wanted is the default for all the forms. Next you have to fill for the first requirement. So here that first one asking accommodation manager. So first you have to fill for the accommodation manager. So as I told already, the title should be always in caps, and compulsory have to ignore the special characters. No need to use any special characters even if mentioned on an image. And in case if mention any short form in an image, you have to use the same short form. Don't abbreviate any word by yourself. Next, that category. That category we have to check whatever given in the title. So here they given the title accommodation manager. You have to check that exact requirement is available in the drop down list. First you have to check in the alphabetical series by using this navigation key. One by one we have to check that exact one is available in the drop down. So if that exact one is available in the drop down, we can select directly. So in case if that exact one is not available in the alphabetical series, you have to check till the end. So sometimes you'll get the requirement in the last also, you have to check till the end. If that exact one is available, you can select directly. So sometimes you won't get the exact requirement in the drop down list. If that exact one is not available, you can select the related or relevant to the requirement. So you can select the related or relevant to the requirement, whatever given in the title. Then description. So just simply copy the title and paste it in the description, and we have to use enter key. So that enter we have to use only in the description, not in other columns. By mistake if you use enter in other columns, the form will get submit. So just you have to ignore, just use only the tab key for the rest of the columns, use enter only in the description. After given the title in the description, so next you have to type about only that salary information. So if form has any salary information, so if mention anything about that salary or experience, that qualification, knowledge, job and company profiles, if mention any of those kinds of details on the right side form, you have to simply type as a description. So while typing the description from that image, you have to type that same as it is, follow the uppercase, lowercase, and you have to ignore the special characters. So the characters you can use only for the degree and percentage. So in case if mention any degree and percentage in that image, you have to use the special characters only for the degree and percentage. Rest of the characters compulsory have to ignore that. Or else if you use special characters in all the columns, you will get that error. So you can't submit that form. You have to ignore that characters. So in that form here that asking, so just that accommodation manager. But here they're asking that experience and fresher. So you have to type that both experience and fresher, that same as it is from that image. So follow the same uppercase, lowercase. So follow the same uppercase, lowercase. Here they're asking experience and freshers. So if that form has any of those kinds of details, you have to type that same. In case if that form hasn't any of those kinds of details, compulsory you have to type yourself by one, minimum 3 lines related to the requirement. So the description is must. So you have to type compulsory minimum 3 lines related to the requirement, depends on the title. So just whenever typing the description by yourself, you have to use only the random things. Don't give any exact information about that salary or experience. Just give only the random things, minimum 3 lines. Then walk-in. So the walk-in means that interview timing. For example, if mention the exact date and time for that interview, when we have to come or when we have to call for that interview, you have to select walk-in yes. In case if interview timing is not available in that form, you can select walk-in no. And then so while checking that interview timing, you have to check only in that form. So no need to give that posted date. So if mention the interview timing in that form, you can use that yes or no, or else okay select no. In case if mention any date and time with the past year timing, select walk in no, because the past year is invalid. So don't select walk in yes for the past year. So if year is not available with any date, any time, any month, select simply walk in yes. Then that company name. So if mention the exact that concern name, you have to type that company name, and then that company name also should be in caps. So here in that form they mentioned that company name hotel RTC. They mentioned that hotel name. So you have to type that hotel RTC as a company name, should be in caps. So as I told already, so whenever filling the forms, we have to use both title and company name. These two columns should be always in caps. The rest of the columns only have to type as per the image, follow the uppercase, lowercase, ignore the special characters. And then, so in case if that exact column is not available in the right side form, we have to simply type nil. Don't leave the column as blank. So in case if that column is not mentioned anything in the right side form, you have to simply type nil. So don't leave blank. So here that mention that company name, we have to type that company name also should be in caps. And then that contact person. So contact person name is that particular person's name whom we have to contact for the interview. In case if mention any particular person's name exactly, for example, if mention contact Shanti, we have to type Shanti in that person's name as per the image. So if mention uppercase lowercase, you have to follow the uppercase lowercase, or else in case if mention only the uppercase, you have to follow only that uppercase. So that same as it is from that image. If person's name is not mentioned anything, simply type nil. So don't type anything about that person's name. Don't type that contact details, just like that address or mail ID or number. Don't type anything like that. So apart that person's name, just type only that person's name, or else simply type nil. Then the designation. So here the designation belongs to only the contact person, just Santish designation, just like a HR, general manager, MD, like that. If mentioned any those kinds of designation belongs to that contact person, we have to type that same simply or else nil. Then address. So if mentioned any address, you can type that address, or else you have to simply type nil. So here they mentioned only the landmark, so you have to type only the landmark the same as it is. Follow the uppercase, lowercase, ignore the special characters. So sometimes you'll get full address with pin code number. So in case if mention any full address with pin code number in an image, don't type the pin code number in the address column. We have to type only till city in the address. Don't use any pin code number in the address column. So just type only till city. So if you get any related address to the related information to the address, you have to type that same in that address column, or else you have to simply type nil, should be in caps. Then that state and city. If mention any city in that form, you can select that city, state, and select that city. For example, if mention that city here Bangalore, select that state Karnataka, select the city Bangalore. In case if mention Chennai, select that state Tamil Nadu, select that city Chennai. So in case if mention that Mumbai, you can select that state Maharashtra, select the city Mumbai. So whatever mentioned that city in that form, you have to select that city, state, and that particular city as a city. In case if not mention any city in that form, you have to select the city from the publisher always. So city is only an exceptional, so you have to select the city apart from that form in case if you not mention anything in that image. So here they not mention any city in that image, so you have to select the city only from publisher. So they mention that city is Hyderabad, select that particular state Telangana and city Hyderabad. So in case if you don't know that given city state exactly, so you can check that state in Google and select the state here. Then the zip code. The zip means that area pin code number. So if mention any area pin code number in that form, you have to type the pin code number, or else if not mention anything, type simply 0. So sometimes you'll get the pin code number as 2-digit and 6-digit. So whatever mentioned on the right side form, you have to type that same, or else you have to type 0 simply. Then phone. That phone column, you have to type only that landline number. Don't type that mobile number. That's phone only for that landline, not for that mobile. So if form has any exactly landline number, you have to type that landline number the same as it is. In case if not mentioned the landline number, type 0. Don't type that mobile number in that phone column. Then that mobile. That mobile, you have to type only that mobile number, or else type simply 0. Don't type that landline number. Just type that landline number if mentioned anything in that form. And then, so in case if mentioned more than one number, you can type only that first landline number and first mobile number. So sometimes you'll get more than one landline number and more than mobile number. So just type only that first landline number, because you can't type more than 10-digit mobile column. So just you can use only 10-digit mobile column. So just type only that first landline number and first mobile number, or else type simply 0. Then that mail ID. If form has any exact mail ID, you can type that same mail ID, or else you have to simply type nil. and website also the same. If it's available you can type, or else simply type nil, and that special characters you can use only for that degree percentage mail website. So these things only you can use the special characters, rest of the things you have to ignore that. And then multiple records. So multiple records, here you have to select yes, because as I told already when I started the training, so here they are asking more than one requirement in that same form. You have to fill all the requirements individually one by one in a separate form. So now you're gonna fill only for the accommodation manager. So next week you have to fill for the other requirement supervisor, guest relation executive. So you can select here multiple record yes. So once you selected the multiple record yes, after given the submit, you get that same form in the second time. So in case if asking only one requirement, so here if asking only accommodation manager, select here multiple record no, and submit, you get the fresh form. But here you have to fill for the other requirements. So select here yes. And then last date you have to type always nil, because you won't get any last date for any form, so you have to simply type nil for all the forms. So this is the default one. So these are the instructions while typing the forms. So once you fill that form, you have to click simply submit. But whenever selected multiple record yes, after given the submit, you will get that same form in the second time, but second time will get only these 5 columns like this: title, category, description, and the third one is last one is multiple records, last of applying. So these are the 5 columns you will get while filling that forms after given that multiple record yes. So next we have to fill for only that second requirement, F4 supervisor. So again we have to give the title wanted F4 supervisor and select that category, description. I can select here multiple record yes and submit, you get the third time. So third time you can fill for the third requirement. So like that we have to fill all the requirements one by one individually. And when we fill in the last requirement, so whenever you fill the last requirement in an image, you have to select here multiple record no and submit, you get the fresh form. So here the last requirement is that counter staff. So this is the last requirement in an image. So when you fill in the last requirement counter staff, select simply multiple record no and submit, you get the fresh form. So like this only you have to fill the forms one by one. And then the second category form is that matrimonial. So sometimes okay, they mention the details about the bride or groom on the right side form. So just you have to check that form for that matrimonial, what they mention in the details. So I mentioned some their graduation, their earnings, their family background. So like that they mention details about that both bride and groom. You have to check that form what kind of requirement they are asking exactly. For example, if you mention the details about that bride, if looking for that groom, you have to use it as wanted groom. So in case if mention the details about that groom, if looking for that bride, you have to use the title wanted bride. So you have to check the requirement and give the title depends on that form, either bride or groom. Then category the same. So depends on the title. If mention the title bride, select that category also bride here. So in case if mention the title groom, select that category groom. So depends on the title, you can select that category. And description that same, copy the title and paste it here and just give enter and type the details about the bride or groom. So certainly you will get some details about the bride or groom on your right side. You have to follow the same as it is. So follow the uppercase, lowercase, ignore the special characters. Then rest of the columns are same. If it's available you can type simply, or else simply type nil and select here multiple record no and submit, you will get the new form, because that multiple record will get only for the job requirement, not for that matrimonial and real estate. So always select no for that matrimonial and real estate form. Then third one is the real estate form. So if you get any real estate form, certainly they mention some details about that flat, about that square feet, HBK, then how many floors in that flat, what are the facilities around that flat, and then what's the cost of the flat. So like that they mention some details about that flat. If mention the details about that flat for sale, give the title wanted flat for sale. So in case if mention the flat details for rent, use that title wanted flat for rent. And in case if mention that flat details for lease, title you have to use wanted flat for lease. So these are the title you have to use for that real estate. You have to check that form and give the title depends on the form what they mention on the right side, either the flat is sale or rent or lease. So sometimes only you will get that flat details for sale, for rent, for lease. So most of the time they mention only that flat details simply. They won't mention either the flat is sale or rent or lease. So in case if not mention either the flat is sale or rent or lease, give the random flat for sale. Then category as usual depends on the title. So just give that category. So depends on the title, rent or sales or lease. So description, copy the title and